up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of MVP Unplugged, man. Today's MVP is Major Vivek Anand, who has served in the Indian Army for almost a decade now. And let's welcome him on the show. Before, come on, man. Vivek Anand, welcome on the show.
Thank you, Mayur. So nice to be here. Thank you, Rahul.
So before we start, I just want to say one thing. I think you being on the show is maybe the reason why I started this because guests like you inspired me to start this. So I would like to thank your profession and people who are like you very inspiring. So that's how we'll start off.
So I just want to tell you something. Also, I want to add that. I want to add something else. So before, we did before starting the podcast, me and Rahul were always talking like, whom do we get on the show? Like, do we have to get like celebrities or like all these famous people? But then we were like, no, I actually want to talk to the real MVPs, and like we consider you as a real MVP. And thank you so much for doing this, and welcome on the show.
Thank you, Mayur. Really honored and privileged to be here. So before we begin, I was about to ask you like, why did you invite? But you answered that question
Yeah.
even before me asking. But I do remember in the month of November when I was in India,
Yeah.
that's when you had spoken to your gym trainer
Right.
and you
Right.
wanted me to like come on show. But back then, I was still contemplating whether I should do it or not.
Yeah.
And I did make a false promise to you that next time I'll be here, I'll definitely do it. But that is like materializing now.
Mhm.
So I know like for a fact that you guys are doing a great work, like calling in people and listening to their stories, and more than that, like putting it out on the social media so that others get to learn. Um, Kudos to that. And
Thank you.
then yeah, I'm just really happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's start. Why did you choose this profession? Why the army? Why did you want to serve our nation for like almost a decade? And then how did it happen?
A lot of questions. So
Hmm.
see, I come from a middle class family. Okay, all our life we have stayed in a rented place, and my parents worked really hard to make ends meet. And growing up, I'm pretty sure that it would be every kid's dream
Mhm.
to join the forces. It's
Right,
it's
right.
it's the adventure, the glamour. And back in the days when my dad used to take me to MG Road, there
Okay.
used to be like this army trucks, right? Like plying on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
road, and it's kind of it's one of the most attractive thing for a kid.
Mm.
So and I had a military bag.
Mm.
It's a old canvas bag, military
Okay.
bag, and then I had a gun, like
Okay.
MP4,
Like,
so a plastic gun.
uh,
So both my parents used to work, and as a kid, they used to kind of like lock me indoor in the sense.
mhm.
There was a grilled house, so they used to
Okay.
lock me because probably back then they couldn't afford like a babysitter or someone. So all I used to do is like put on that bag, sling that gun, climb that grill. So I
Okay.
was living the life of a soldier even before uh, I
Becoming
joined
one, yeah.
forces. And that was one episode. Forgot about it. I'm talking about like when I was in
When
like
I
fourth or
was
fifth,
okay.
way too
Way
young.
too young. Okay.
Forgot about it,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of life changed. And I used to be a very healthy kid. Like when I was in 10th standard, I was like 110 kilos, and
Okay.
then my waist size were on 40, and then got bullied in school, college, and then something happened,
Mm.
in PU and all, like maybe puberty or my hormones kicked in, and then that's when I
Okay.
started working out and started running marathons. I started lifting weights, and I became like this basically. So, so during that time, the movie Lakshya came out. Hrithik
Lakshya,
Roshan's
yeah,
Lakshya
yeah.
came out, and yeah, probably like that was one movie which is portrayed, uh, which is captured really well
Yeah, right.
how the armed forces function.
Yeah.
And as in to add on to that, my very close friend's brother,
Mm-hmm.
in fact, who was guiding me with my uh, weight training journey.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to him. All of a sudden, like he's like from a well-to-do family. He just
Mm-hmm.
like joined army.
Okay.
And he was my go-to person. And then
Mm-hmm.
I started pestering him, like whenever he used to
Okay.
come back on vacation. His name is Captain Manoj Athreya, retired.
Okay.
So whenever he used to come, he used to stay like, pretty close to my place. Right now he's head of security for Honeywell, sorry,
Okay.
Accenture. uh,
Mm-hmm.
so whenever he used to come on vacation, so I used to go pester him, like, tell me about this, tell me about that. And I was still in engineering. And he did say, and this is how things work, research about it. Then I did my bit, again forgot about it, like, threw it back, and
Okay.
then moved on with my life.
Mm.
And again, 2009, I graduated with great difficulty,
Okay.
with a lot of backlogs, but I graduated with my batch. Uh, I did like a couple of odd jobs, like I used to assemble computers and flip it for a meager profit.
Okay.
Then joined Dell
Dell. Okay.
customer care
Mm-hmm.
as a call center executive.
Okay.
So that's when again I met this another good friend of mine, Siddharth. So
Siddharth. Okay.
he had joined army. He had cleared everything. He had joined army, and he was riding a horse. Like, we do have a lot of clubs in the armed forces. So just
Mm-hmm.
to pick up some hobbies, like, during
Okay.
your training. He was part of the horse riding club. He was riding a horse. He fell, broke his back,
Oh
and he
shit.
was deboarded from Indian
Okay.
Military Academy. And luck has it,
Mm-hmm.
he joined Dell.
Okay.
And again, he became my best friend. Apparently, like, that
Okay.
I was
Mm-hmm.
till then it was just like there, in somewhere in my subconscious mind that I need to do. And then he joined, so it again
Okay.
triggered that,
Yeah.
this is what I need to do.
Okay.
And he kind of introduced me to one Lieutenant Colonel Bala from the
Okay.
Corps of Artillery. This officer, like a fantabulous officer, he has produced like more than, like, 500 officers. He runs a SSB coaching center,
Mm.
small place, but it's like nothing fancy, but whatever he coaches, it's the gospel truth. Whatever he tells you, you follow, you will become an officer. I mean,
Mm.
if you have that urge, if you have that
Right.
officer like qualities,
Mm.
it's like you're an unfinished diamond. You go to him, like, he'll make you a finished diamond. So
Mm.
I did that. And oh, luck has it, from Dell, somehow, like, I attended that training, and all of a sudden, like, my personality had transformed in a way. Within 2 months, I left Dell and I joined Cisco. Like,
Okay.
people from IIT and NIT got rejected.
Mm-hmm.
Me with 54% marks in engineering, I
Oh
got
shit.
selected because
Okay.
my personality had changed. My confidence level had
Mm-hmm.
changed.
Mm-hmm.
The way I look at things, the way I do things had changed.
Okay.
And then it was an era of, like, face to face interviews, not like
Yeah.
virtual interviews.
Right.
So when I went in, like, the interview really liked me, and my dad was like, "You were like struggling to clear your engineering. How did you even get into Cisco?" I said, back then,
Yeah.
my package was like 6.5 lakhs. So
Oh. This was
just
in
to
your.
just 2009,
Okay.
just to draw a correlation, Infosys used to pick up the best of the lot, pay
Okay.
them like 3 lakhs. So when there's this
Yeah.
process
Yeah.
called background verification that happens. So when these people call my college, I get a call. How did you even manage to get into Cisco? So yeah, Cisco happened, and then parallelly I had taken the SSB coaching.
Okay.
So I went and wrote my UPSC, Union
Mm-hmm.
Public Service Commission, and then I cleared UPSC and went through the training process.
Okay.
Went through the selection process, and yeah, uh, I think I spoke a lot, but
And then, like, you went to Chennai and did your training there, right?
yes.
And you consider that academy as the world's toughest academy, is it?
I never knew, Mayur, Rahul. The thing is, the reason why I chose Chennai was I thought, like, it's closer to Bangalore. See, for a kid who doesn't come from the armed forces background, my parameters was, hey, this is closer to background. Like, it's a 5 hour Shatabdi
Yeah.
drive. I can come back whenever I want.
Yeah.
Little did I know that, once you go in, like, it's uh your freedom is curtailed. Basically, like, every minute of yours is I wouldn't say monitored, but it is timetabled in a way that you are supposed to do, like, morning 5 to, like, 11 officially, morning
Okay.
5 to 10. Officially, it's every minute is started on what you do.
Okay.
And when I entered, like, after clearing the SSB, after clearing the medicals, when I entered the academy, it was like, uh, my platoon commander, he was a young captain back then, and he comes in, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world's toughest academy. It's called the Hell on Earth for so many reasons. You'll get to know. I mean, that was his welcome speech. I was like,
Shit.
what the fuck?
Yeah. I think I would just go out listening to that. It'd be like,
Oh, uh, as we go ahead, move ahead in this podcast, I'll let you know like what all happens there.
yeah.
So,
So, like for the first time when you entered the training sessions, what did you feel for the first 3 months? Like, were you fine physically or mentally to get adjusted to that environment? Because you were in IT and everything, and then suddenly army happened. Not suddenly, but still.
Rahul, to answer your question, let me like break it down. Uh, I was physically very fit.
Mm,
Even before the I entered the army, like, I used to do marathons.
mm,
I used to lift weights. I used to swim. I used to do
mm,
Muay Thai. I used to like, I used to be like physically very active. Uh, so there are many aspects, right? Like, you have to be um, emotionally strong because you're leaving the comfort of a cushy job. Most of the Indian kids,
yeah.
still live with parents. You're just moving out of that cocoon, the comfort zone.
Mm,
right.
To break out of that, you need to be emotionally strong, and to go through uh, uh, the rigorous physical exercise and the requirements, you have to be physically strong. And the third one is uh, it's what happens when your every action, like, I will say, you don't sit like that. Hey, why are
mm,
you, just like, putting your hand on
and
the other one? Why are you like slouching?
yeah.
Every action is questioned. They kind of like break you, and then again they rebuild you. That's what
Mm,
happens in 11
Mm.
months. All your activities, whatever you're used to for last 21 years, it's broken down. Like, right from the way you talk, right from the way you walk, right from like way you speak to your senior, everything is changed. Now you go through a metamorphosis.
mm,
Okay.
And that is something which, if you're not mentally strong,
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, a lot of officers who, gentlemen cadets, like when we call
Right.
gentlemen cadets when we enter,
Okay.
who were physically weak, fuck as weak, they did not, probably they wouldn't have, even ran a mile in their life, but because of their officer like qualities,
Mm-hmm.
they are selected and they're like, gotten into the academy,
Okay.
but mentally like super strong. They say,
Mm-hmm.
bring it on me, like I can take everything.
Okay.
And when that happens, uh, see, people do drop out. Okay, when like
Yeah.
people do drop out, they
Mm-hmm.
cannot take the physical stress, they cannot take the mental stress. And I remember, like, the very first week, I cried. Why? You won't believe why. There's only like one telephone booth. For it was like we were not allowed to keep mobile phones.
Okay.
So you had to wait. The very first week, the very first Sunday
Mm-hmm.
is when only you can make calls back to your home.
Okay.
And can you just imagine, 2010, there was like mobile phone with everyone, and we had to stand in line outside the telephone booth for like 1 hour to make a call, and that call is like being moderated, like 2 minutes, fuck off, 2 minutes, fuck off.
Okay.
And our academy is co-located with the airport.
Mm.
mm,
The moment one aeroplane took off,
Okay.
everybody started looking at the aeroplane. Without unknowingly, everybody had tears because they started remembering their
Yeah.
home. That was
Okay.
such a moment, and our seniors had lived through that moment, and they said,
Mm.
"Fucking, like, all of you
Oh.
bend, don't look
Okay.
at the airport, start doing push-ups."
Oh.
So I like, being like physically strong, emotionally strong, like that was something which was beyond anyone's control, and we did. It was just 1 week.
mm,
Second week, we did not give a fuck after that.
mm,
Okay.
So the way the training is model, it makes men out of boys.
Mm.
It separates men from
Right.
boys. And after that, like, bring it on. We can take on
Yeah.
anything. So that's the mindset we get.
obviously, like, like when you have your friends, there are so many people and they're pushing themselves, and then even you feel like doing it. That is how it is, right? Like when you see other people also pushing themselves harder, going hard, and then even you will be like, yeah, even I can do it. That is how it is, I think, right?
We also had a saying, one for all for one.
Hmm.
So even if one person falters, the punishment is for the entire company.
Yeah.
If one person does something, again, the praise is for the entire company.
Okay.
So that's the mindset, it's not
Mhm.
you're like John Rambo, like, going into Vietnam and just like bursting things. It's,
Yeah.
it's a teamwork.
Right.
So that is something which is ingrained in us from day one.
Okay. And then like you did your training for 11 months in Chennai,
Uh-huh.
and then like how many people get selected after that? Like does everyone who do the training get selected, or like few people are
Uh,
thrown out? How does that work?
See, mostly it's the aim of the training. See, there's a lot of filtration process that happens, like
Okay, in between the whole thing.
right from I might be little off with the numbers. Somewhere close to 3 lakh people apply for UPSC,
Okay.
and of which I say, like, mm, so 3 to 5 thousand people get clear that,
Mm-hmm.
and of which say around 2,000 make it to the SSB,
Okay.
and of which around 300 people make it to the merit list.
Mm-hmm.
And out of 300, like, few people go to Indian Military Academy. The officers, the gentleman cadets going to Indian Military Academy is like, they're the permanent commission officers. Unlike me, like, they have to serve for 20 years, and
Okay.
only can then they
Yeah.
can like opt to retire.
Mm-hmm.
Short service officers, like, we serve for 10 years and we have an option of continuing or leaving. So there is a segregation process at every level.
Okay.
And when it comes to training, uh, I think in my company, I am from Jasami Jaguars. Like, we have companies called
Okay.
Jasami, Kohima, Mektila, and Naushera. They are the gentlemen companies.
Okay.
So there was, I think, one or two dropout,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of them got relegated. In a sense, relegation is nothing but if you meet with any physical
Physical
um,
injuries or anything.
injuries or something.
Yeah.
So they send you on sick leave. So you recover and come back, and it's just like losing a year, like, losing one term. You graduate with the next, you get commissioned with the next batch.
Okay. Then like after training, like where was your first posting at? Like,
Damn, man. The thing is, Chennai, it goes all the way up to like 46 degrees, 50 degrees. Everybody knows about
yeah.
Chennai's heat and humidity. And I got my first posting, in my unit. Like, I got commissioned into Corps of Engineers, 17th Engineer Regiment was my unit. And at that time, my unit was posted in
Leh.
Leh. And September got commissioned, 1 month of leave, October, 1 month of orientation in MEG Center also. And peak of December is like, I land in Leh. It's like fucking minus 15 degrees.
Shit.
And I don't know, like, my ears are hurting. The earlobes are
Yeah.
hurting. My toe is like hurting. I was like, I kind of underestimated Leh's weather. I wasn't prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a stark difference, right? Like 48 degrees to minus 16 degrees. So Leh was my first posting with my unit.
And you were there for like how much time?
I spent close to 2 years with my unit in Leh, and as a young lieutenant, probably very, very few young lieutenants get a chance to serve in Siachen, especially from Corps of Engineers.
Mm-hmm.
So Siachen is considered to be the world's toughest battlefield.
Okay.
The reason why they say world's toughest battlefield is, though the ceasefire is on, it is still considered as a battlefield. Like, back just like, a decade back, there used to be shelling that used to happen from both the sides, India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
So it's still considered as an active battlefield. And I spent, like, close to 5 months on the post.
Okay.
And that's again a funny story. It's unit is in Leh. Leh is like all it's basically, you have an airfield, a lot of
Yeah.
tourists come,
Yeah.
and then so it's easy to maintain, right? Like the further post. So we have Leh, we have Kadungla. Beyond Kadungla, it's all, most of the time it's all military outposts, right?
Okay.
So there's a before you get inducted to Siachen, you do something called as in pre-induction training in core battle school, Siachen base camp. So what they teach you like mountain warfare. What you do in officer training academy is your basic military training,
Okay.
and the moment you get like posted in specific areas, you do mountain warfare, jungle warfare, desert warfare.
Okay.
So it depends on where you get posted. So when I went to core battle school, and then 4 week of training, it's at 11,000 feet. At 11,000 feet, there's hardly any oxygen.
Yeah.
All right. So every day they make you run like crazy with 16 kilos because
Okay.
you're just getting started. The post is at 21,000 feet. So they're just getting you acclimatized.
Okay.
And you start at 11,000 feet, and then basically they make you do a lot of running and then climbing ice walls, survival technique. If somebody falls into avalanche, how to rescue them.
Okay.
There is like tons of mountaineering equipments which they teach you how to use, and fucking they show only one movie that's Vertical Limit. I've like seen that like 1,000 times, and again it's compulsory. You have to sit through the movie. Even if you say I've seen it, no, you have to see see it through.
Okay.
So they keep showing that movie, and then all and we get best of the equipments from Austria, the boots.
Okay.
Took it and soldier in Siachen, like it costs government somewhere close to like 3 lakhs, 3 to 5 lakhs
For
Okay.
one soldier.
for one soldier. It's
okay.
right from the clothing, your boots, your crampon, and your rucksack, and your tools, and the training, of course. So all inclusive, it's somewhere between 3 to 5 lakhs. I don't have the exact number, but that's how much it costs.
Crazy.
And the reason why I told you it was funny is it's a mandate that a person should not spend more than 90 days in the post, because your physical health deteriorates, your mental health deteriorates, and then people go insane, crazy. People have gone crazy.
Okay.
So I go there, and my unit, which is in Leh, it gets its move order that it has to go to Delhi, and they
Okay.
have packed and they started moving. And fuck, like the person who was supposed to replace me,
Okay.
my course mate, my Vayos course mate,
Okay.
and he was supposed to replace me, and then he either fails his pre-induction training or he fucks up big time in his acclimatization. So he gets delayed by 2 weeks. He starts, so I've already completed 100 days in the post.
Okay.
Delayed by 2 weeks. And so it's like you start from base camp, camp 1, camp 2, camp 3, camp 4, and I was at camp 5. It was at 21,000. It was called Kumar, Kanda post.
Okay.
And back in 80s, there was a huge action. Pakistan had come down and then through that post, and they had laid out like minefields and all. There are 2 posts named after Bana, Naib Subedar Bana post and Bana saddle. So I was just below that. And by the time he comes, he kind of the weather goes bad, and he spends 2 more weeks, and my clock is ticking there. 90 days becomes 120 days. And when he comes, it's not a unit to unit, it's a unit to different unit transition. So I have to give him a handing ticking over. So fucking by the time I de-inducted from the post, I had spent close to 140 days. And I was going insane. It's just all you see is white. That's it. Minus 60 degrees. There are times when temperature dipped to minus 60 degrees.
At that altitude, what is the most craziest thing you have seen, or what happened between your mates or something?
Oh, the craziest thing is I hosted a barbecue party there, minus 40 degrees. And I mean, I did host a barbecue party and I brewed beer. Okay. So we used to get a lot of fruits, in terms of canned fruits. So tons and tons of it, and nobody used to your appetite goes down, you lose a lot of weight and everything. So I had this Ladakhi porters. We do get Ladakhi porters. These are the people who lug our luggages. Like the weight and all.
Okay.
See, the thing is, it's kind of isolation. You're just trying to figure out what to do. And there are many instances I'll tell you. Like one was this. Then I asked this guy like, can you make this something called as chang, which
Huh.
you get in Ladakh? It's basically it ferments everything, whatever you do. Then this guy like we make rice wine. I said make.
Okay.
He made something did not like. Then like the engineer in me like started experimenting. We said, can we do mango wine? I said
Okay.
yes.
Oh.
So we got chang, like that thing flew from base camp. Like we used to have choppers
Mhm.
uh, twice a week, I think. Yeah. So that guy got the chang, and we brewed beer. Like all you have to do is just segregate that mango
Okay.
pulp, add that, wrap it in this thing, and put it in a dark place for 1 week, and you have the best of the mango beer.
Crazy.
So I did that, and then we used to get all this salamis and other stuff.
Mhm.
So broke down some wood. Not wood is what they used to like drop. Heli dropping used to happen on a plyboard.
Hmm.
So we used to cut that and then have barbecue in the night, like all decked
Yeah.
up, and then like we used to have like long avalanche rods.
Mhm.
Like if somebody goes under snow, you're supposed to
Yeah.
poke and like see probe and get them out. So add salamis and sausage in the night, like at minus 20 degrees. There's like burning fire, and you make barbecue.
Crazy.
So it's all about like keeping yourself engaged there, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's that. And another crazy thing is not a crazy thing. It's a very serious thing. One of my soldier, he was an infantry soldier. I was the engineering company commander. There was a infantry company commander.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the post, 23,000 feet, 22
Okay.
or 23,000 feet. And when you are exposed to that altitude and climate, there's something called as pulmonary edema,
Okay.
where your lungs get filled with water and you won't be able to breathe. There's cerebral edema, wherein your brain drowns itself in water.
Okay.
So we are taught all this, like this is basic medical terms,
Mhm.
and you're also taught like how to inject, how to like dress,
Okay.
suture, basic
Right.
medical
Right.
stuff, like so that you can do a bit of survival thing. And that infantry company commander had gone on a patrol just to see in the morning, and he came back. You were tired, man. Like literally, you have to wade your way through snow. It's like nothing like walking.
Mm-hmm.
If walking, if I have to compare walking on road, walking on sand, and walking on snow,
Mm-hmm.
so it drains the energy out of you.
Yeah.
And then so that guy had come, and then we had a doctor also. Suddenly
Okay.
we get a call on our radio that somebody is like he's hallucinating and he's not able to control. Then I was a junior most. He was a major, and of course, like
Okay.
he would have gone out an amazing officer, but he was tired, so I had
Okay.
to go like 21,000 feet. So generally we don't go out in the evening because the weather changes rapidly and there's no visibility, right? So we don't venture out after
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Everybody sticks to their tent, basically the Russian tent. And in this case, that responsibility came to me. Like two, three of us, one porter, me and my another Jawan. Like we went on a snow scooter.
Mm.
Uh, and then that guy was literally tied. There were like 6 people on the post.
Okay.
It was close to 1,000 feet wall.
Oh.
So half of us like climbed, and that guy was kind of belayed down, and we got him. Apparently, that guy had cerebral edema.
Okay.
So doctor said he cannot treat him there because
Like his brain was filled with
with
water. Is
water.
it? Okay.
Yeah, and then
He was a major, right?
no, he was a Jawan. He was a
Jawan.
soldier.
Okay. Okay.
We bought him, and the whole night, like we put him in our shelter, fiber reinforced shelter. So we were there, and then like luckily next morning the weather improved. There was a chopper, and he was relocated, and within no time he was taken to Chandigarh. Within
Okay.
like 48 hours, in 24 hours he was taken to Chandigarh, and he was out of danger. God's grace. So yeah, these are the kind of things you get to do. And another thing is you guys know what a crevasse is. This it's two when like when a mass of ice like it breaks, the
Yeah. Right.
huge
Right. Right.
thing that forms
Yeah,
between
yeah,
two
yeah.
ice is called a crevasse.
Yeah.
And crevasse was like very deep, and there are caves
Yeah.
inside crevasses and all.
Right.
So my job as an engineer was to like basically we have three tasks: mobility, counter mobility, and survivability tasks. Okay.
Okay.
Mobility is like, help forces induct into like, areas.
Okay.
So my regiment's job was to like build bridges on that. Bridges is not
Mhm.
fancy bridges, it's just a ladder.
Yes.
You put
Okay.
a ladder and you put some plyboard on that,
Mm.
and you have your carabiner, the thing,
Mm.
and we build ropes, and you hook onto that rope and you walk.
Okay.
This fucker, young guy, and only one guy can pass through. Okay,
Okay.
I mean,
At
because
a time.
huh?
At a time.
At a time, it's
Yeah.
it's close to 30-40 feet between
Mm.
crevasses, and all we have done is like put a ladder. That's it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if the ice breaks, like everybody will go
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And like once my unit does, like we have to do the test run.
Mm.
So we have done it like multiple times, and we said like, what the hell, like let's go.
Mm.
And this guy, he crosses. It's few people have the fear of height,
Yeah.
and he stands in the middle. He sits in the middle of the ladder. Said, "I'm not crossing. Neither I'm coming this side, nor I'm going that side."
Ooh.
And the thing about such kind of action is, you don't have fear of height.
Yeah.
But if somebody does that, you start like shooting bricks. Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
if
yeah,
something
yeah.
happens?
Mm.
And that kind of like demotivates others.
Mm.
And we said like, please chale ja, bhai, please chale ja. वो नहीं जा रहा है. Then like, I had to go literally like, like whack him and said like, go.
Okay.
And that guy never went on a patrol where he had to like cross bridge again for like next 3 months. And
Oh.
the same thing happened when he had to like go down de-induct.
Okay.
But everybody knew that this
Mm.
guy had fear of it's quite natural, man.
Right.
It's like few people have fear of heights, few people have fear of water, and
Yeah.
like one friend of course mate of mine, he looked at swimming pool and started crying because he
Shit.
was from Rajasthan,
Mm.
and in his entire life, from a remote village of Rajasthan, he says
Yeah.
in his entire lifetime he had never seen so much water. And he said like, fuck, there's like so much water, and you're asking me to jump from like 5 meters into so much water. Like, first of all, I've never seen so much water, and you're asking me to jump into it.
Okay.
So like we do have
Crazy.
like funny instances like that. So yeah, Siachen was again I would say one of the best posting I've had, in
Okay.
the sense. So it's seldom like people get to. Everybody hears about Siachen, but to spend that time in the glacier, it was like, that's something really worthwhile I did. Yeah.
Like, did you get to choose where you wanted to be posted, or like they put you, like they, like obviously when the majors and the like your seniors, they know like how good you are, and on depending on that they like put you on this particular area, or how does that work? Or you can choose.
See, internally, see, there are two things. Like, once your area of responsibility as a unit,
Okay.
it spreads over a huge area, right? Like, you have a large responsibility. In the unit, you can probably like request and exercise that right,
Okay.
but you cannot say that I want to like as an officer I want to go to like Siachen, I want to go to like Jammu Kashmir, I want to go to northeast. But if your unit is there, it's like you have a bit of flexibility within the unit.
Hmm.
So in my case, I was lucky that my unit was already there.
Okay.
And the best part about like serving in the field is you get medals.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I as a lieutenant, I had like 3 medals.
Okay.
There are
That's
like there were
crazy.
majors like who had not no fault of theirs. They're not served in
Mm.
field because they got posted in a unit which was in peace location.
Mm.
So I used to
Okay.
walk as a, like 2 stars on my shoulder, walk with like
Uh-huh.
3 medals, and people were like, "Oh fuck, like this guy has medals," and they used to look at their chest and without medals. So yeah, so the in my very first posting I got like 3 medals. One was Op Meghdut, that is Siachen. If you serve in Op Meghdut for 90 days, you are
Okay.
entitled for
Okay.
you are awarded a medal. And if you serve in the state of J&K, you get a
Okay.
medal. And if you serve below above like 10,000 feet, you get a high
Okay.
altitude medal.
Mm.
Okay.
So it's very few people get that, and over a course of a decade plus, I had like close to like 5 medals and 1 commendation card.
What is that? Like you 5 medals and you said something, right?
It's a commendation card.
Okay.
So I was involved in flood relief operation in Bagalkot. While I was posted in my last leg of posting,
Okay.
I was in Bangalore MEG Center,
Okay.
and 20 just before COVID, 2019, there was huge floods in Bagalkot.
Mm-hmm.
So the state government,
2019.
yeah, the state government requested army's help,
Okay.
and my platoon swung into action, and we kind of helped relocate and then the couple of villages. And I was like personally involved in an operation wherein I literally had to like go in the flood water and
Okay.
get few people who were stuck. They were hanging on the tree.
Okay.
So I kind of recovered them from an adverse situation,
Crazy.
and I got pretty good coverage on TV9. I'm a Kannadi guy, and then
Right.
the locals were comfortable speaking to someone in Kannada,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So, and the TV guys was also like, the moment they got to know there's a Kannada speaking
Correct.
officer, is like they were all over me,
They'll
and then
be-
like, sir, one interview,
How?
and then I did give an interview, and then I wasn't expecting because it was a team effort, but as I said, one for all for one, like
Right.
something I think my superiors thought I deserved a recommendation card. So my CO personally wrote a letter of recommendation, and
Okay.
that comes from the army headquarters.
Okay.
So I got a commendation card.
That's crazy.
So for how long were you in JNK?
So again, JNK is right. Like right now, you have like Jammu and Kashmir and Union Territory of India, right? Back then, it was just JNK.
Yeah.
So my first posting, as I said, it was in Leh Ladakh region for close to 2.5 years, and I had from there. I told you my unit moved to Delhi,
Siachen, okay.
Delhi,
Delhi.
right? So I spent a very brief stint in Delhi, like 6 months. Then, see, what is the point of being in the army if you are spending time in a metro, right? So
Yeah.
Right.
I again volunteered for Rashtriya Rifles, and my unit, 17 engineers, we had an affiliation with 17 Rashtriya Rifles. So
Okay.
within 6 months, I was again moved back to
Back to
JNK.
JNK.
Yeah.
Because talking about JNK, it's been a hot topic from when you served till now.
Mhm.
Maybe geopolitically and because of the political situations there and the army, terrorism. So there is a mix of everything. So when you served in JNK, how was the situation there? Maybe it's better now, but how was it back then?
See, Vivek now and Vivek then, like, we are like two different personalities. Okay. Back then, I was a hardcore soldier. My only intention was to, like, go kill militants. Whoever is there, like, just like go kill them. I mean, that was my only intention. But if I just reflect back on times, like whatever you mentioned, the geopolitical scenario and the politics, and then the terrorism, the people, the culture, it plays a very crucial role. So
Yeah.
again, uh, how do I put it across? Army has a role to play because we are given a mandate, we are given an objective to eliminate terrorists operating in the area. So when I got posted to 17 Rashtriya Rifles, my affiliation was with the Maratha Light Infantry.
Okay.
Amazing troops, very, very strong. And then as an engineer officer, like, I was posted. And then there was one fraction of militants, like, the leader of that was Jahangir.
Jahangir. Okay.
We used to call him Jahangir Baba because that guy, the people say that he's been operating in that area for close to like 3 or 4 decades, never got caught.
Okay.
And generally, militants die young,
Mhm.
but this guy was like way past 50.
Okay.
And everybody wanted to, like, get his head. Okay, the thing is, how can someone survive? And people also said that he had great support from the locals. That's why,
Yeah.
if you need to survive as a militant, if you need to survive in JNK, like, you can't do it on your own. And you can extort people. You can probably, like, force them to support you, but that will not last long. But if you convince people to be on your side,
Okay.
your lifespan increases. So he did the latter. People said he was good to the locals, and that's why he was kind of untouchable.
Hmm.
And there were like close to 4 units,
Okay.
4,000 people trying to hunt down that guy.
4,000 people.
Wow.
One guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was the only known militant there,
Mhm.
and because of our presence, we kind of did not allow any further recruitment.
Mhm.
Okay.
It was a communally disturbed area, Hindu Muslims.
Hmm.
There were Hindu villages, Muslim villages, and but this guy was there, and 4,000 troops against one guy. So that was the dynamics. And by then, army, armed forces, and the government had realized we just can't go like John Rambo on these people. Like, we
Mhm.
need to do something like um, there was Operation Sadbhavana. It's like, winning the hearts and minds of people of Jammu Kashmir.
Okay.
So we started doing a lot of welfare activities, building schools,
Okay.
hospitals, and other stuff, just to like win their hearts and minds. And
Okay.
we did succeed.
Mhm.
See, at the end of the day, if you cut off the supply, right, like,
Right.
there are there's concepts of like two. One is homegrown terrorists and one is foreign terrorists.
Mhm.
Foreign terrorists generally come from Afghanistan or Pakistan. They
Pakistan.
like come through
Yeah.
the line of control, and they come with an objective, either uh, to attack security forces or to recruit local people.
Okay.
They come with a lot of money, power, and then they have this amazing gift of gab wherein they can convince young people.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a kid, when I like for me, I want to join army.
Yeah.
For them, they'll say you cannot join army because you are in this JNK, you are from a particular religion, you're not treated well. So join us.
Mm.
So they have their own ways of radicalizing people, and then they try. We kind of
Right.
cut off the
Okay.
supply, and then yeah. So that way is like we could keep uh, uh, the things in order.
Mm-hmm.
But last time I spoke to like someone, Jahangir still lives. It's like close to
Yeah.
like I don't know. Like I moved out of Rashtriya Rifles in 2015 or 16. Yeah, 16, and it's 24. People say he's still alive.
Oh,
Shit.
but now the current 2 3 months, Rashtriya Rifles is a name in everyone's mouth after a recent movie. So they say that's one of the toughest role in the army to be in that company. So what did you feel like comparatively? You have served in Siachen, which again they say is one of the most toughest place to be in. And again, Rashtriya Rifles, you have never been easy on yourself and your life. So how would you say, like, which one was the tougher one?
See, my personal opinion. If you are a soldier, if you want to call yourself a soldier, like people will probably disagree with me. You have to serve in either Rashtriya Rifle or Assam Rifles. There are like two, okay, because no other assignments, operations, or posting, you get to like sleep with an AK-47.
Mm.
I
Oh.
always had my AK-47 and 3 magazines, like AK-47 right on my bed
Okay.
and with a magazine on.
Crazy.
No other units. Like most of the other units, like Leh, all the units, all the weapons are in the armory, right? Coat. But
Mm.
that is one like where you're a fucking real soldier, man. Like
Right.
just imagine carrying 90 rounds of AK-47 and then AK-47 in your hand, and you have a kukri, a knife, or a
Mm-hmm.
bayonet, and then you're going like it's a different feeling. Probably
Definitely.
I have felt it, and I still get like goosebumps. I feel nostalgic
Mhm.
whenever I just like reflect on those. But I personally feel uh if you've not served in Assam Rifles or Russian Rifles or like special forces,
Okay.
it's you're not a soldier. I mean, not a actual soldier. And to answer your question, Operation Meghdut, Operation Siachen, and Rashtriya Rifles. Siachen, you are battling the enemy. Main enemy is the weather out there.
Yeah.
It's if you survive in Siachen, like that means it's a second life. And again, few people like do a lot of crazy things. Like I did Siachen and then RR.
Mm-hmm.
So and when you come to RR, the dynamics change. It's the terrain. You have to like climb your company operating base is at like 6,000 feet.
Okay.
Your area of responsibility, like you're operating at like 11,000 feet. You just climb overnight. You climb a mountain, and you will
Mm.
see you sit on like ambushes, hoping that like
Okay.
something
Yeah.
happens. You do something called as int based operations, and there's something chance based. You just
Mm-hmm.
you for int based, you know that something is going to happen. You be there and you neutralize the target. Chance based is you're doing your routine activities and you encounter on something. So and most of the time it is int is again like it's very difficult to get in those forested areas. So it was always like we used to do our regular patrols, like go out on
Okay.
patrols every day, every
Every day.
night, and then hoping like something comes. So yeah, it's in Rashtriya Rifles, the enemy is your terrain and the actual terrorists,
Okay.
and sometimes the locals, because you
Mm.
never know, right?
Yeah.
The very first, like the way I mentioned about core battle school Siachen, we have a core battle school Balra,
Okay.
which trains you on counter-terrorism. Like when you move
Mm-hmm.
from one terrain to another, they say the democracy is such that everybody wears that I forgot the word, like the long woolen coat,
Yeah.
Yes.
Kashmiris.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody grows a
As like
beard.
a beard. Yeah.
Everybody wears a hat. And when I look at the Jahangir's photo, like it will take time. Initial 2 months for
Yeah.
you, everybody looks like a Jahangir.
Changi.
And then the CEO is
Yeah.
responsible because you're expected to carry like an AK-47 with 90 rounds.
Yeah.
Mm.
If you do not exercise caution, the image of the army, like which is built
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
many years, it goes.
Yes.
So you have to be really mature. You have to be like really watchful of like what you do, your actions, not just your action. As an officer, I'm responsible for like 180 boys under me. As a company commander,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm responsible for 180. Like I need to train them. I can't like send them out on patrols without supervision. I cannot be there everywhere, but I need to kind of build a team. In my absence, they can take care of the men, the other men.
Yeah.
Mm.
So my 2 down, 3 downs. So and since you mentioned about the movie, I made to watch the movie, but I heard like pretty good reviews. And
Yes.
see, as a nation, uh, what comes to your mind when you like look at American movies?
Like for me, it's like it's very raw. It's
American
very
war,
raw and
military
pure.
movies.
Military movies, I feel like they have been doing it from very long time, and we have
Mm-hmm.
just recently
Mm.
started.
Like it's very realistic when you watch,
Okay.
right? Like it's raw.
Yeah.
And like in Indian, there's like more drama. There's more
And a
like an
little
emotional
emotional
side.
element.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
emotional side and all of that.
Yeah. I'll tell you, they take pride in the military. They take real pride in the military, and Americans are like fucking fantabulous when it comes to marketing.
Hmm.
Why aliens only attack America? Why
America,
only like
yeah.
US military has to go and combat aliens? Because
Uh,
they are there. Like every kid knows the value of their forces. They have glorified their forces.
hmm.
Um, Rahul, like I asked you that day that you told me that you are from you have Tamil
Yeah.
roots, Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
Back in 2010, we used to get liberty, like once a week. You can one that in the senior term,
Mm-hmm.
junior term, like your life is like anybody can come and have your happiness.
Okay.
Your freedom is curtailed, but as you become senior, like you get a bit of freedom, liberty, and other stuff. You get to go out on Sundays.
Hmm.
So I went out to one of the mall,
Okay.
and to come back, I tell the auto guy, take me to Officer Training Academy, world's toughest academy. It's producing officers to Indian Army. I kind of like tried like close to 8 to 10 autos. Nobody knew Officer Training Academy. Nobody knew what
Wow.
army is. Nobody knew what military is. So again, it's a collective fuck up or mistake from everyone that we did not give that kind of a respect. We did not market our forces
Hmm.
in a way that it was supposed to be.
Right.
Now with Uri, Article 370,
Yeah.
and then Amaran,
Amaran,
and then
Shah,
Shahenshah,
yeah,
Shah,
and then
Sam
Sam
Banu,
Manik Shah.
yes.
Sam Manisha, yeah.
So people are trying to
Right.
get to know.
Now,
And
there's a little-
guys,
there's a
trust me,
little change.
there was this my mom's friend's daughter. Apparently, like she's an engineer too. When I
Mhm.
told her I'm in the army, she asked me, what kind of a question she asked me? Are you in Navy or Air Force?
Oh,
I was like, fuck,
Both ends.
engineering student, man. When you say army, are you in Navy or Air Force is the follow-up question I get.
Hmm.
How can you be so that oblivious to the fact that there are three different forces? Coming from an engineering student. I mean, if I come from some
Yeah.
a blue-collar worker, I could have still imagined, but
Right.
see, that's where
Hmm.
our folks are, right? And I wouldn't say that's their fault. I would say it's the education system's fault.
Definitely.